Hello, good people. How are you? I hope that you are doing well today. Just thought I would come back on here and give you a status update since I spent the other video talking about the importance of having your colonoscopy appointment and talking about, all the things colonoscopy. So if you haven't seen that video, I would say go back and see that video. It was just mainly, walking you through the process of how to really take down that CB24. And the CB24 is the large container, which I'm going to show you in a second, because it's a gallon of liquid that you have to take. And it's a beverage you got to take in 24 hours. So I call it the CB24. So I'm going to go get that container for you right now. So before I pick up the container, because I did grab it, I wanted to just give a brief reminder. These have my things as much. So this is where we are when we start our colonoscopy liquid, brown, when you use the restroom, brown. But the ideal is to get around here to be orange or to get around here to be really yellow is what they really want with no particles. So just, to bring this in closer, they gave me that at the doctor's office. So that is the goal. So here is our lovely jug. Remember, this was the lovely jug, and you can see there's still liquid in here. I don't know about you, so I think I did 90% because it started here, and I only have this much. So I told them anywhere between 85 to 95% was left. But I did write on the back of here information so that I can keep a log on it. So I started taking this at 4 p.m. because my instructions said I can start anywhere between 4 and 8, I think it was. So I started at 4 p.m. and I did markers on here, and I just took it in this little bitty glass here, nothing special. I just thought the smaller glasses would be better. And it took me till 8:53, about 8:55, for me to have half of this liquid. They say you're supposed to take the liquid in an hour and a half. I don't know what statistical numbers they use because they tell you don't gulp it, but that's how long it took me. So I just took little sips here and there and chugged it back sometimes, but just until I got it finished. And then I started again because my instructions were to take it in 2 parts. So I started the next part at 4 a.m. and I kind of stopped at 6:24 because by then I was pretty much all clear. So all yellow and clear when I was going to the restroom. But when I started this at 4 p.m., the day before the colonoscopy, I didn't start seeing any bowel movement till about 7:24. So everybody's body's going to be different, and everybody's going to be able to take this thing and enjoy themselves with it. I'm sure I've seen a lot of good people are making mocktails with them and everything. So I'm just like, but I think we're all mixologists once we start taking this drink, right? You got to think of something fun and creative to get it done. So this is what's left. I'm going to toss this out. Some days I wonder if they should sell this to us if we just ever just want to be clean one day. This might be better than a detox that people do, huh? I don't know. Well, nothing beats a natural detox. So this is the medicine. So I just wanted to show you that this is what I had left. Started at 4 p.m. And then this is that. And again, so this is the medicine that was prescribed to me. And they told me to take it in parts. So that's the medicine. So again, like I said, I stopped taking it the next morning around 6:24, because I was kind of all clear, and I felt comfortable doing that. The last time I had a colonoscopy, I wasn't able to finish it either, and I was able to still have a good, clear liquid bowel movement. And from 6:30 to about 6:55, I just drank water. Yeah, I love water. So I just drank water. So that's what I wanted to explain to you. And I thought this little glass was fine for me. It's about this size. Taking it, I filled it up to the rim, and I just would take it. I was doing things in the house, going back and forth. So I slept okay. The nurse thought I would be, making sure the mic is on. The nurse thought I would be up all night running to the bathroom, but I kind of slept okay. I did have to get up a couple of times and go to the restroom, but I just think it depends on what's going on with your body and how it is. So the only tip that I would give you is I would recommending wearing clothing, if you sleep with pajamas and you need to sleep with your pajamas and things like that, having something that you can easily pull down or quickly lift up, or no underwear at all, to be honest with you, so that you can have something non-restrictive, because when you have to go, you gotta go. I mean, you think about it, sometimes when you hit the door of your house, your body instantly, I don't know how it knows that you're at home. You got to drop everything at the door and you're running to the bathroom. Well, it's kind of in that kind of vein. So you want to just make sure that you're ready for the bathroom. And so I think I slept okay, So I woke up at 4, took it, and then, was on my way. Only concern I did have was I was hoping that I could make it to the doctor's office. I was thinking about putting a plastic bag in the car, but I made it just fine to the doctor's office, which was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away with traffic that time of day, because my appointment was at 9 in the morning. So that's that. So when I got to my appointment, there was a lovely questionnaire for me to fill out, basically asking you, what was your last solid meal? When was your last bowel movement? What color was it? And things of that nature. And surprisingly, I did not have to go to the bathroom. I did not have to go to the bathroom, but they did make me take a pregnancy test, so I did have to urinate. Yes, they must have had some glitches in the past if they're making you take a pregnancy test. They want to be safe than sorry, right? So I don't blame them. They don't want any lawsuits. So I did have to do that, and let me see. I'm trying to give you all of the notes. Oh, one of the things that I was a little concerned about. So, you fill out the paperwork, the questionnaire, and what you don't fill out, the nurse was helping me with. And then, they hook you up to the IV, you change into your gown and things of that nature. If you're a woman, you can keep your bra on, or, if you're whatever. And when I got into the procedural room, that is when they gave me the consent form to sign. I think they should, when they send you the instructions on how to take your the CB24, the colonoscopy medicine, I think that they should send over that consent form so you can know in advance what you're reading. Because the day before, someone did call me and wanted to know if I wanted to participate in a study, and I didn't get back to the person because I was so busy trying to focus on finishing this beverage, that I didn't get back to that person. So you kind of don't know what you're signing. They said, oh yeah, it's just a procedure, it's just procedural, and you're giving your consent to have this colonoscopy. But it's a long, it's a nice couple of paragraphs. So you should be able to have that information ahead of time, so you'll know what you're signing your name to. Because basically, I remember signing that form, the doctor said something to me, and the next thing you know, I'm in recovery. So I did call back to ask the nurse, can I get a copy of that? And she has a copy, but I can't have a copy. I think every adult should have a copy of everything you sign. So I did put in a request to get that signed form. I said, you could just drop it in my portal. I just want to have it on my files so I know what I signed. I don't think it should be a big deal for a patient not to have the consent form that they put their signature on, unless there's something they don't want me to see. So just be aware of that. If you go to the doctor, ask if you can they can send you a blank consent form. And going forward, I will do that for any procedure that I have, because that's kind of tricky, that's just how I feel. I don't know. You might feel different. So, of course, like I said, the next thing I know, I was talking to the doctor, then I was, waking up in recovery. And, one important thing too. So where I went to have my colonoscopy, it is required. I don't know if I should be for every place because I'm on anesthesia, that I have someone to take me home. And so they don't start the procedure until they get confirmation from that person that they will be picking you up. So they had to call the person, whether that person's in the waiting room, downstairs getting something to eat. That person has to confirm, yes. They don't have to be in the hospital or the clinic or your doctor's office. They just have to confirm that they're coming to pick you up. So once they get that confirmation, then they'll start the procedure too. So they need two things. They need that consent, and they need also the consent from the person coming to pick you up. At least that's how it was for me. So I remember the doctor did come in. First, the nurse came in there and was like, it's time to get up. It's almost like your mom telling you that, and you're having that good sleep. That I sleep pretty well at night, but that was some really restful sleep that I got. And I was just like, oh my God, really? So it's almost like you just want to be like, leave me. But you don't want to be mean to anybody, definitely not the nurses. And so then she was just like, oh, do you want some cranberry juice, apple juice, whatever she was saying. I was just like, oh my gosh, she's talking. So I was just like, so I just chose some cranberry juice, and I did some graham crackers. The doctor did come in there and tell me that everything went fine, and that he would, after he looked at the test results, he would let me know if I need to come back in 3 years or if I need to come back in 5 years. So pretty much, I wasn't too groggy coming out of it. I could stand, I could walk, but they do want you to take your time, put my clothes on, and then I left. So when I came home, I decided I want to give my body a shock, although you can eat anything you want. But I just had some chicken noodle soup with very little chicken in it. I just wanted that brothy kind of, still keeping with the liquids, just wanted, like I said, give my system too much of a shock. But when I was in the hospital, they did give me a report that I said I was going to review with you over here. So I do have that. So one of the things, and so this is almost like a procedural report to me, like a summary of what happened. And they let me know that maybe I'm TMI, but they said they saw hemorrhoids. I'm like, hemorrhoids? Okay, so I'm going to look that up. So I like the fact that they give me this, because then anytime your doctor gives you any kind of information, I think it's important that you read the instructions, read your after summer report, read everything, because a lot of times the questions you may have are in the report. And don't take any time you go to the doctor for granted. Read what's there, because they may provide information that you really need to know. So for me, they found 3 polyps that were removed, and they say how they were removed, and so things of that nature. So they go over all of that. They let you know what kind of anesthesia medication you were on, and details of the procedure was there. There's even pictures. Looks kind of gross like, so I don't know what these pictures are. So I was like, oh, okay. And then, hold on here. I'm trying to show you. They what I did like, this is kind of crooked, but they gave her like a diagram of where they found the polyps. So they found them. So there was 3 of them. So they marked them where they found them, which I thought was great. And they named it in the report where they found it. So what I do with information like this is I pretty much will go ahead and look to see if that means something where the polyps are found, just for my own recognition and my own self, so I can have that information. And the other thing on here, it gives you some other information about what you can expect today, and how you can resume your medications, and that you wouldn't see a bowel movement from 1 to 4 days. And that was the case for me. I had a bowel movement 4 days later, so I feel like I'm back to normal, so to speak, with bowel movements. And I just wanted to, and I did hear back from the doctor, surprisingly, the very next day. And he said the polyps that were removed from me were non-cancerous, but he did say that there was one that he was a little concerned about. And I don't know if he was telling me this to encourage me to come back, but I do. I always come back to my appointments. But he said, had it been ignored, it could have had the potential to turn into cancer. So he said, based on that, he wants me to come back 5 years from now. So that's fine with me. I'm very glad that I'm all clear, and they was able to remove anything that was not supposed to be in my colon in the first place, right? So I'm very happy about that. Oh, let me move this down a little bit. I didn't realize. Cutting off my neck here. Okay, so we're almost finished. So I just wanted to leave you with a little facts about colonoscopy. So a colonoscopy is one of the only screenings that can actively prevent cancer. And as you see, whenever you have a colonoscopy, they're going in there. That's why you have to be as clean as possible. So if they see any polyps or anything like that, hemorrhoids, then you can go ahead, they can go ahead, not you, the doctor, and remove them. So this is, that actively prevents cancer. So that's, why it's so important to have your colonoscopy. And so during the colonoscopy, like I just said, doctors find and remove polyps before they turn into cancer, which is so, so wonderful. And if you're 45 and older, it's time to schedule your colonoscopy. Don't wait until you're 50, because the guidelines have changed. It used to be when you were 49, 50-ish, it was like time to get your first colonoscopy, and you were like, okay. But they're now saying that colon cancer is on the rise with younger people, that they're seeing even in their 30s. And I just saw a doctor talk about how he had to tell a young patient in their 30s that they had colon cancer. And this particular patient had rectal bleeding for a whole year. And the doctors kept telling him, oh, you're too young, it's nothing but hemorrhoids. And they didn't test him for, or suggest he get a colonoscopy because of his age. So I just, it kind of made me think too. And then I saw somebody else say that they tried to get a colonoscopy exam, but because they were so young, the insurance denied it. So if research is saying, if the doctors are saying these things, I think the insurance company should match up, right? Because these doctors are in the field. They're the ones that's seeing what's going on. And then research is showing them that. Shouldn't they catch up, and you shouldn't be denied, the right to have a colonoscopy that could potentially save your life? So now he's 30. In the first incident, the person is 33, and I think they have stage 4. The other incident, they said they were still fighting to get the exam, and I think they finally got the exam, and that's what they were saying in that. So sometimes it's good to go on social media and see all of the good things that is out there for research. So I think that's pretty good. So, and it's, speaking of research, I'm going to go get something for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So all of these tidbit facts I found doing my quick internet research, because I think it's important for you to, do your own kind of research and things of that nature. So one of the things, because I am a Black woman, I wanted to understand how colon cancer affects Black women. And so if you're out there, no matter what your race, your ethnicity, your age, when you go out there and you do your internet searches, be specific. You can say, how does colon cancer, how many people die from colon cancer? Great. But then you can hone in your query and ask specific questions. So for me, it says colon cancer remains the third leading cause of cancer deaths for Black women overall, according to the American Cancer Society. So it's important that when you do your research, that you kind of hone in on it. And I think that's important. But as important as it is to go online and you see all of these testimonies from doctors and from people, I think that is great. Internet research is great as well, but I'm learning lately, things can be changed, things can disappear, things can be erased. So sometimes I wonder how accurate things are. I know we put a lot of trust in our AI and things of that nature, but I don't know. So I just wanted to say, I think it's always important to get hard copies for research. And I believe in getting books, right? And so this book has nothing to do with your colon, but I'm just saying that I'm sure there's a book out there similar to this. This was a liver cleansing diet. I don't know what made me pick this up. I've never had any problem with my liver at all, but I just picked this book up, and it just was really, because she's an MD, but it spoke to me as an everyday person, which I really appreciated. And I bought this book in 2001, so this book probably isn't even in print anymore. And I'm sure there's a lot of update to modern medicine about the liver since this has been posted. But I'm just using this as an example to say that I'm sure there is a book out there about understanding your colon, how it works, preventive measurements that you can purchase. I'm going to be looking for one myself because as a woman, I think it's very important that we understand a lot of parts of our body, especially when it comes to, colonoscopy. So I just wanted to give you that quick reference tip. If you're going to be doing research, look for something that's a hard copy that can kind of explain something to you, or something that's probably in one of the medical journals that is factual based on research and can't be erased, right? So I leave you with two other things that I thought was pretty cool that I found when I was doing my internet search. It says that when you think about a colonoscopy, it's a 1 day of preparation because it's 24 hours before your appointment. And that's a 30-minute procedure that equals to 10 years of peace of mind, knowing that your results are clear. So all of the hoopla about this, this lovely beverage that we have to take, when you think about it and what the test results can show, it can really give you a peace of mind if you have no polyps, nothing there for 10 years. And if someone like myself, 5 years. And, sometimes people are not that lucky and they may say, we need you to come back even sooner, right? So think about that. That's a great return on your investment when you think about it. So if you have a colonoscopy coming up and you have to take this wonderful CB24 beverage, think about it, about the return on the investment that you're giving your colon, your body, and peace of mind to yourself and your family. And, don't wait for a warning sign to go schedule your colonoscopy. Think of this as your because there's not really warning signs unless you're having some kind of bleeding. But think of this as your warning sign. Think of this as your reminder, your encouragement. So please, whatever you do, don't be afraid. Go schedule your colonoscopy. If you have someone in your life that needs to schedule it, whether it's your partner, whether it's your, a family member, encourage them to go and maybe take the day off if you can, and go with them and be with them during that time. And they will see that it's not as scary as most people think. So I hope this information was helpful to you and, encouraging to you as well. So I just thought I would come back and give you a part two. So that ends my conversation about the colon until 5 years from now. Okay. So talk to you later. Hope you have a great, great day. And remember, take care of yourself. If you're feeling any kind of symptoms, any kind of way, go to the doctor. Don't blow it off like, oh, this could be this could be that. No, you're important. Go to the doctor. Take care.